All right, we're going to look at how to solve a question like number 2. We're going to see a question like this every week throughout the year, so getting comfortable solving this for y. All we're doing is rearranging the equation so that it's y. And before we do that, I want to give an example of something that you've probably learned years and years ago. And I'm just going to use the space up here. I've got the number 4 plus 3 equals 7. So you had this equation when you were in elementary school, and your teacher might have asked you, can you turn this into a subtraction problem where you want it to equal 3? And so what you might have done, it's called fact families, is you might have rearranged the equation to say 7 minus 4 equals 3. And that's a true statement. So what happened there was the actual operation that you did, maybe you didn't write it down, was whatever you did to one side, you had to do to the other. So to turn this into a subtraction problem to equal 3, you wanted to isolate the 3. You wanted to rearrange for 3. And so you subtracted 4 on this side, you subtracted 4 on this side. 4 minus 4 canceled that out, and you were just left with the 3. Then you had 7 minus 4, and that's what you're getting there. What we're going to do in question number 2 is identical to that, except for now we have variables to work with. Okay, so thinking about how can I break these questions down and make them easy, and think about how can I use my prior knowledge to answer them. Negative 2x plus 3y equals 18, and I want to make it so that I am rearranging just for the y there. First thing we want to do is think about isolating the plus 3y. So in order to get rid of the negative 2x, I need to add that out because it's a negative, and to get that to 0, same thing as what we did above. I'm going to add 2x. I'm going to add 2x. Okay, negative 2x, and if I add 2x, cancels it out. They are opposites. They cancel out. They're gone. What I'm left with is 3y is equal to 18 plus 2x. Right? And so we said that we wanted to rearrange for y, so we just want it to be a single y, not 3 y's. Right now we have 3 y's. It's 3 times y. In order to undo that 3y, or that 3, it's 3 times. I'm going to divide. So I'm going to take this side and I'm going to divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1, right? Anything divided by itself is 1. So what we're left with there is just 1y, also known as y, equals, and we're actually doing this operation, 18 divided by 3. And that's going to give us a repeating decimal, so I'm going to keep it as a fraction. And so in my calculator, I might do 18 divided by 3, or I might do it in my head. Oh, and that does not, what am I thinking here? 18 divided by 3 is 6. I'm sorry. Brain is still warming up here. 18 divided by 3 is 6 because it goes into a whole value. And then what you're left with here is 2 divided by 3, which gives us our repeating decimal, which would be 0.6 repeating. So we want to keep that as a fraction, plus 2/3 x. Okay? So what we did there was we did that same work as we did here. We rearranged it, right? And we solved for 3. But in this case, we rearranged it for y, and then we had to deal with that division piece because we had 3 y's and we just wanted it to be a single y. So y is equal to 6 plus 2/3 x. Now you could go back and check to see if you're right by plugging in values for x and y, because remember that these are x and y is like a coordinate pair, x, comma, y. And if you were to put in some easy numbers, like let's try the coordinate pair, if I want my x to be 0, then what does my y need to be, right? What does my y need to be? This is actually to be solving for a y-intercept. If I look at this, it's harder for me to determine that. If I look at this, I can determine that really easy. Because if I'm saying my x is 0, then down here where my x is, I'm going to have 6 plus 2/3 times 0, because now x is 0. And so basically 0 times anything is canceled out, and what you're left with is y is 6. There's your y-intercept there. Y is 6. Okay? So if you know that this and this is equivalent, what you can do is go back and check and now see if I plug these values in, do I still get that true statement here? negative 2 times 0, because x is 0, is 0. That's gone. Plus 3 times 6, 3 times 6 is 18. True statement. So I know that this equation and this equation are equivalent. Final answer is y equals 6 plus 2/3 x. It could also look like this, y equals 2/3 x plus 6. Either one.